Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract others effortlessly while you feel invisible? You walk into a room and nobody notices. You try to join conversations, but people seem disinterested. You post on social media and get barely any response. Meanwhile, there are people who command attention without even trying. They speak and everyone listens. They enter a space and the energy shifts. What do they have that you do not? The answer is not about being louder, funnier, or more attractive. It is about something your brain is doing that pushes people away, and you do not even realize it is happening. If you want to understand the hidden psychology that makes people magnetic, make sure to subscribe. We explore the science behind human connection and influence. Here is what nobody tells you about charisma and social power. It is not a personality trait you are born with. It is a set of psychological signals your brain sends to other people's brains, and those signals determine whether people are drawn to you or repelled by you. Every human interaction is actually two conversations happening at once. There is the verbal conversation, the words you are saying, and then there is the non-verbal conversation, the thousands of tiny signals your body, face, and energy are broadcasting every single second. And here is the critical part. The non-verbal conversation is what people actually respond to. Research shows that in face-to-face communication, only 7% of your impact comes from your words, 38% comes from your tone of voice, and 55% comes from your body language and facial expressions. This means that 93% of how people perceive you has nothing to do with what you are saying. It has everything to do with how you are saying it and what your body is communicating beneath your words. Now let me show you what is really happening when someone feels magnetic. When you meet a person who has this quality, your brain picks up on specific signals that trigger a powerful response. The first signal is presence. True presence means your attention is fully focused on the current moment and the person in front of you. Your mind is not wandering to your phone, your problems, or what you are going to say next. You are completely here. And people can feel this. When someone gives you their full attention, it activates reward centers in your brain. It makes you feel valued, seen, and important. This is incredibly rare in the modern world. Most people are physically present, but mentally absent. They are thinking about 1,000 other things while pretending to listen to you. Their eyes glaze over. Their responses are generic. They are waiting for their turn to talk rather than actually hearing what you are saying. And your brain detects this immediately. You feel it as disinterest, as disconnection, as a signal that you are not important to this person. So you naturally pull away. You give less of yourself. The interaction becomes shallow and forgettable. But when someone is truly present with you, everything changes. You feel their focus. You feel their curiosity. You feel like you matter. And this creates an instant bond. Your brain releases oxytocin, the connection hormone. You feel warm toward this person. You trust them more. You want to be around them. And the beautiful part is that this person did not have to be funny or impressive or extraordinarily interesting. They just had to be fully there. Presence is the foundation of magnetism, and it costs nothing. It requires no special talent. It just requires that you train your brain to stop wandering and stay anchored in the moment with the person in front of you. But presence alone is not enough. There is a second psychological signal that magnetic people send, and it is called validation. Validation means making someone feel that their thoughts, feelings, and experiences are legitimate and worthy of attention. Most people are terrible at this. When someone shares something with them, they immediately jump to advice, judgment, or comparison. Someone says they are stressed about work, and the response is, "Oh, that is nothing. Let me tell you about my job." Someone shares an accomplishment, and the response is a subtle put-down or a quick change of subject. Someone expresses a feeling, and the response is, "You should not feel that way, just think positive." Every single one of these responses is invalidation, and invalidation sends a clear message to the other person's brain. Your experience does not matter. Your feelings are wrong. You are not important enough for me to truly acknowledge. And when people feel invalidated, they shut down. They stop sharing. They stop being authentic. They put up walls. The connection dies. Magnetic people do the opposite. When you share something with them, they acknowledge it. They reflect it back to you. They ask follow-up questions that show they are truly interested. They do not rush to fix you or compare their experience to yours. They let you be fully seen and heard. And this is incredibly powerful, because most people spend their entire lives feeling misunderstood and invisible. When someone finally sees them, really sees them, it creates an emotional impact that lasts. Your brain remembers that person as someone safe, someone valuable, someone worth staying close to. This is not manipulation. This is genuine human connection. It is recognizing that everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about, and the simple act of acknowledging their reality can change how they experience the world. Now here is where it gets deeper. There is a third signal that separates truly magnetic people from everyone else, and it is something called emotional congruence. This means that what you are feeling on the inside matches what you are expressing on the outside. Most people are emotionally incongruent. They feel anxious but pretend to be confident. They feel sad but force a smile. They feel angry but act pleasant. And this creates a disturbing effect in other people's brains. Your words say one thing, but your energy says something else. This mismatch activates the part of the brain that detects threats and deception. People do not consciously know what is wrong, but they feel uncomfortable around you. They feel like they cannot trust you. They sense that something is off, and they pull away. Magnetic people are congruent. If they feel uncertain, they admit it. If they feel excited, they show it. If they feel sad, they do not hide it. This does not mean they dump their emotions on everyone. It means they are honest about their internal state. And this honesty is magnetic because it gives other people permission to be honest too. It creates psychological safety. When you are around someone who is emotionally congruent, your nervous system relaxes. You do not have to guess what they are really feeling. You do not have to be on guard. You can just be yourself. And this mutual authenticity creates connection at a level that shallow interactions never reach. But there is something even more important happening beneath all of this. Magnetic people have a specific relationship with their own status and worth, and it changes everything about how they interact with the world. Most people are constantly trying to prove themselves. They are performing. They are seeking approval. They are measuring themselves against others. And this need for validation leaks out in everything they do. It shows up in the way they brag disguised as casual conversation. It shows up in the way they get defensive when questioned. It shows up in the way they name drop or show off or try too hard to be impressive. And all of this has the opposite effect. When you are trying to prove your worth, you are actually communicating that you doubt your worth. You are asking other people to validate you, and people do not want to carry that burden. They feel the neediness. They feel the pressure to prop up your ego, and it is exhausting. So they avoid you. Magnetic people do not need to prove anything. They have an internal sense of worth that is not dependent on external validation. They are comfortable with who they are, including their flaws and limitations. They do not need you to think they are amazing. They are not performing for your approval. And paradoxically, this is what makes them so compelling. When someone is not trying to impress you, you relax around them. When someone is comfortable in their own skin, you feel comfortable too. When someone does not need your validation, you actually want to give it to them. This is the psychology of status and confidence. True confidence is quiet. It does not announce itself. It does not compete. It just exists. And people are magnetically drawn to it because it represents something they desperately want for themselves. Now let me tell you about the hidden mechanism that makes all of this work. It is called mirroring, and it happens automatically in your brain. When you interact with someone, your brain unconsciously mimics their emotional state, their energy level, and even their physical posture. This is why you feel tired around exhausted people and energized around enthusiastic people, This is why anxiety is contagious. This is why being around calm people makes you feel calm. Your brain has mirror neurons that fire both when you perform an action and when you watch someone else perform that action. This neural mirroring creates emotional resonance. You literally feel what the other person is feeling. And this is the secret that magnetic people understand, whether consciously or unconsciously. If you want people to feel good around you, you have to feel good within yourself first. If you want people to feel relaxed around you, you have to be genuinely relaxed. If you want people to feel energized by your presence, you have to carry genuine energy. You cannot fake this. You cannot put on a performance and expect it to work. Because people's mirror neurons will detect the truth beneath your act. They will feel your actual state, not your projected state. This is why working on your internal world is not separate from being magnetic. It is the foundation of being magnetic. When you do the work to genuinely feel confident, calm, curious, and secure within yourself, other people's brains automatically mirror those states when they are around you. You become someone people want to be near, not because you are doing anything to them, but because being near you makes them feel better about themselves. There is also something called the spotlight effect, and understanding this will change how you show up in the world. The spotlight effect is the psychological tendency to overestimate how much other people notice about you. You think everyone is watching you, judging you, analyzing every word you say and every move you make. But the truth is that most people are barely paying attention to you at all. They are too busy worrying about how they are being perceived. They are too caught up in their own spotlight effect. Research shows that people notice far less about you than you think they do. That embarrassing thing you said, they forgot it 5 minutes later. That awkward moment you replay in your head for weeks, they did not even register it. You are not the center of everyone's attention. You are barely a blip on their radar. And this is actually liberating. When you realize that people are not scrutinizing your every move, you can relax. You can stop trying so hard to control their perception of you. You can stop performing and just exist. And this relaxation is what makes you magnetic. Because when you are not tense with self-consciousness, when you are not monitoring yourself constantly, when you are not worried about being judged, your natural personality comes through. Your authentic energy flows freely. And authentic energy is always more attractive than performed energy. People can feel the difference between someone who is being themselves and someone who is trying to be impressive. And they are always drawn to the person who is just being real. Here is where everything comes together. Being magnetic is not about becoming someone you are not. It is about removing the barriers that prevent people from seeing who you actually are. It is about training your brain to be present instead of distracted, to validate instead of dismiss, to be congruent instead of performing, to find your worth internally instead of seeking it externally, to relax into yourself instead of tensing up with self-consciousness. These are not personality traits. These are skills. They are practices. They are choices you make in every interaction. And the more you practice them, the more natural they become. Your brain builds new neural pathways, new habits form, and gradually, you become the kind of person that others are drawn to, not because you changed who you are, but because you finally let yourself be fully present and authentic in the world. So what does this mean for you right now? It means that the magnetism you see in others is not something they were born with. It is something they developed, consciously or unconsciously, by aligning their internal state with their external expression. And you can develop it too. Start small. In your next conversation, practice full presence. Put your phone away. Make eye contact. Actually listen instead of planning what to say next. Notice how the other person responds. Notice how it feels to connect at that level. Then practice validation. When someone shares something, acknowledge it before you respond. Reflect back what you heard. Ask a genuine follow-up question. Watch how people light up when they feel truly heard. Then work on congruence. Stop pretending to feel things you do not feel. Stop hiding your authentic emotional state. Start being honest, appropriately, about what is really going on inside you. And finally, work on your internal sense of worth. Stop seeking validation from others. Stop trying to prove yourself. Start building a relationship with yourself that is based on acceptance rather than judgment. When you do these things, something remarkable happens. People start responding to you differently. They seek you out. They open up to you. They want to be around you. Not because you became someone else, but because you finally became fully yourself. And that is the real secret of magnetism. It is not about addition. It is about subtraction. Removing the fear, the performance, the need for approval until all that is left is your genuine presence. And that presence is more powerful than any technique or trick could ever be. If this changed how you see social connection, watch the next video where we explore why your brain sabotages your relationships and how to finally break the pattern.